I'm so excited and a little nervous, of course, but just to be up here with you guys. I love doing new things, and I love doing scary things. I love the adventure that life with God is. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys get to be here to witness me jump off this cliff and free fall. If I get a big goofy grin on my face, it's because I'm free falling into the arms of my Father who catches me every time. He's so faithful. And worship was so good, Brad and Tori. There's so much more in God. There's so much more, and it's so exciting, everything he's doing. We've kind of been on this theme of family this year. That's been the word over Zion this year, is family restoration. And I know Chris has spoken on it. John, of course, has shared. And a lot of you are experiencing the Lord working in your family. And, well, I just wanted to come up and give my 2 bits because I feel like it's such a rich subject that let's just stay and camp on it a little bit and really pull all that we can from this idea of family. So we're going to start in John 19:26. If you want to turn there. Sounds so official. All right, and we find Jesus here on the cross. So when Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing there, he said to his mother, "Woman, look, here is your son." He then said to his disciple, "Look, here is your mother." And from that very time, the disciple took her into his own home. When I came across that scripture, I was just so impacted that was one of the very last things the Lord did before he stretched out and died and declared it is finished on the cross. Was he made sure to establish his mother in a family, and he made sure to establish his most loved disciple in a family too. And that's got to be something really important on the Lord's heart, is to make sure his children are established in families. And then right after that, he said it is finished. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Not only, I know that Mary had other sons too, and I'm sure that John had some family too, but the Lord wanted to make sure they were established in a family that was pursuing Jesus. They just spent all this time. They knew him intimately and personally, and so I think it was really on his heart to make sure that they were in a family that were pursuing Jesus and loving Jesus too and going to the same place. And so I just want you guys to look around right now and just look at the home that the Lord has put here for you, that you dwell in, and look at the people next to you. Behold, behold who the Lord has given you. And some of you that scares some of you, but I think that it's a good thing. And also to know that the people that the Lord has placed in your life right now, it's not second best. It's not, oh, my blood family hasn't worked out, so this is God's plan B for me, is these people. God doesn't have plan Bs. He only has his plan. And so the people next to you, this is his plan for you. This is a family for you, and it's not second best. It's the best. Psalm 68:6 says that God causes the lonely to dwell in families. And family is the foundation of any society. And if we're wanting true revival, if we're wanting lasting revival, it has to start in our family, because that family is what's going to carry that revival and give it roots to grow in and last. And we don't want just a quick, oh, remember that one year we had revival? No, we want to be living in revival. We want that revival to cause reformation and true lasting change. And so family is the DNA of heaven. If we're wanting to bring heaven to earth, that's our mandate as believers, is to establish heaven on earth. And we have the model for it, is family. So a lot of times we can try to find our identity apart from our family because we've been hurt or wounded by family, church family, and our blood family. And so we think, oh, if I just get out of the nest and I'll go make my own way in this world. And we try to find our identity in that. And it just doesn't work. That's not God's blueprint. And so we're left feeling just frustrated and empty because the blueprint is family, and we find our identity in our family. Chris Valentin says, the people around us awaken the destiny dormant within us. If we find our people, we will discover our destiny. So your destiny lies in the people beside you right now. That's powerful. I'm going to get a drink of water here. So there's also been a lot of talk about unity as well. And family is where we learn unity. Family's just so big. It's where we learn the basics, right? So let's turn to John 17:21. All right, I'm going to read it slow because my brain gets all crazy when I read it too fast. I'm not only... See? Didn't take me long to get into that. Okay. I am not praying only on their behalf, but also on behalf of those who believe in me through their testimony, that they will all be one, just as you, Father, are in me and I am in you. I pray that they will be in us, so that the world will believe that you sent me. The glory you gave to me, I have given to them, that they may be one, just as we are one. I and them, and you and me, it's very Dr. Seuss-ish, that you may be completely one, so that the world will know that you sent me, and you have loved me, just as you have loved them, just as you have loved me. Comparative brain teaser. It boils down to we're one. We're just one. And it's unity. The Father in us, and we're in him, and he's in you, and he's in me, and you're in him, and it's all good, right? Yeah. Woo. All right. So I was thinking a little bit about families in the Bible, because sometimes when we hear the word family, and when we hear John talk about, I want to build a church on family, some of us are excited by that because we've had good experience with family. Some of us are like, yikes, I have not, and I don't know how to do family. And I just wanted to encourage you by telling you that you're not the only one who's had dysfunctional family. In fact, where's my email? Okay. There's actually a site on Google, and it's called Dysfunctional Bible Families. And I Googled it, and it's funny. And it's going to encourage you, because you're going to see, you thought you were dysfunctional, right? Okay. So I'm just going to read through a few here, and we're going to start at the very beginning, the first family, Adam and Eve, right? Eve tricked Adam into disobeying God. Then things got really bad when one of their boys, Cain, killed the other one, Abel. Then Cain ran away to avoid prosecution. His was the first picture on a milk carton. So, very first family right off didn't start things off great. Noah's fam. Noah saved his family from the flood and then got naked and plastered. Evidently, sailing around on a flooded earth in a barge full of animals was a bit stressful. He didn't appreciate the fact that one of his boys, Ham, mocked him for his naked, drunk condition. So Noah cursed his son, and there is no record that Ham attended Thanksgiving dinner with the family that year. There's a lot here, so I'm just going to read a few more of it. Isaac's family. Jacob, one of Isaac's twin boys, swindled Esau, the other twin, out of his birthright by lying to Dad with the help of his mother, Rebekah. Esau understandably then wanted to kill his brother Jacob. So Jacob ran away to live with his crazy uncle Laban, who tricked him into marrying his less than gorgeous daughter Leah. Then, as a goodwill gesture, Laban threw in his hot daughter Rachel to smooth things over. Right? It's just good stuff. Okay, one more. Jacob's family. Jacob had 12 boys and decided to buy the youngest one, Joseph, a designer coat. That didn't sit well with the other brothers. So instead of leaving him out of family football, they decided to throw him into a hole and kill him. Who wouldn't, right? The older brother, Reuben, was more reasonable and talked them into merely selling him as a slave to a band of Egyptian thugs. They told Dad an animal killed him. Good stuff. Okay, last one, because this one spoke to my heart. Jesus' family, okay? You thought they were perfect. No. Jesus' parents, Mary and Joseph, left their son Jesus behind on a road trip to Jerusalem. They somehow missed the fact that the Son of God was no longer with them on the way home. They turned around and went back for him. They found him in the temple and made him get back in the wagon. Jesus. That comforted my heart because I was just the other day at my kids' homeschool co-op, and I was turning in library books and talking to a mom for a good 20 minutes until the school secretary came in with my 5-year-old, who had no shoes on, by the way, and said that another mom had found him wandering in the parking lot, which is right next to the highway. He had to walk through a grove of trees to this parking lot and was out there with his money for Malawi cup, looking around, barefoot. Mom. So she came back and, is this your son? No, I don't know whose he is. I would never do that, but... So that comforted my heart. Mary, for 2 days, she didn't know, right? I was comforted. I think they put that in there just for us moms. So there can be some fear from some of us, but I just, again, to reassure you, like, yeah, God's seen it all. It's happened, okay? So I'm sure you have a story too, maybe. Before I knew the Lord, I never wanted to have a family. I wanted to be by myself, and I wanted to move to the Galapagos Islands and become a marine biologist and live with the dolphins and the sea turtles. And I didn't want to have a family because, well, I didn't really know how to do that, and kids were stupid, and husbands were stupid, and everything ended in divorce. So why? That was kind of what I had experienced. But as soon as I let Jesus into my heart and he became the love of my life, I found myself wanting a husband. I found myself wanting kids. I'm like, what is this feeling like? This is odd, you know? And it's because all of us have that DNA inside of us to build something, to build a family. It's part of who we are, and it's not something we can escape. If we try to escape it, we're just going to end up, like I said, feeling frustrated and all that. So the moral of this story in reading the top 10 dysfunctional families is to know that we can relate to them, but we actually do have the code for perfection. We come from the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, who they really were the very first family, right? And so he and him and they, the Trinity, are going about the earth, and they are restoring families back to the original design and original intention. And so God's desire is really to show us how to do family the right way. And so we have that template from the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit on how to behave in a family and how to do it well. So you guys know, if you frequent Hobby Lobby, those family value signs are really popular right now. Like, it starts, in this family we do laughter and we do love, and it's kind of like this code book, and you put it on your wall. And I was like, well, that's kind of a fun idea for Zion. Like, what are some of the Zion's family values? And so I wanted to just hit on 4 of those, and I'm sure there's more, but there were 4 that came to my mind of what Zion values and what are some of the building blocks that Zion has for family. Because I really feel like the mountain of family is something that Zion is moving in and is going to conquer, and that's our expression to Spokane, to the region, to the world. So the first one is, it's kind of a no-brainer, is we value each other. We value each other. Each and every single one of you are valuable. And I honor you because you're valuable. There's no one on earth made just like you. I have 4 children. Many of you have more. And you know that each of your kids came from the same parents, but they're all different. And if you kept having kids, each one would be different. You can see that in the Duggards. Each one is different. And they've got like 30 of them, and they're all different. So I don't want you to be like me, and I don't want to be like you. What you bring to the table is unique and wonderful and original and needed. I was listening to this really cool, Vince was listening, and I was over-listening, or eavesdropping, over-listening. There's a new word. about a woman who was just talking about the odds of you being born. The odds of you being born in the moment in time that you were born, with the parents that you have and the DNA structure that you have, is 1 in 400 trillion. That's pretty great. I don't think it's an accident. I think you're one of a kind. I think we can genuinely say that you are one of a kind, handmade by God in the womb. And you carry a unique piece of his heart that no one else in this whole entire world and no one else created from this moment will ever have. And that's why it's so important just to be us, to be true to who we are, because the world needs that piece of God, right? If I put up a flower, a vase of flowers, every single one of you would paint it differently, and it would all be unique and wonderful and your very own. And so that's really important to understand, that here in this house, in this family, we value one another and we see each other as totally unique. Number 2, we pursue one another. We choose to see the gold in one another. Yes, there's dirt. We all have dirt. We all have goo on us and crud. But we don't get caught up in that, and we don't get afraid of that, because the dirt washes off. And what's more valuable underneath is the gold that each one of us carries inside of us. I'm just always so amazed when I hear stories of Chris and Charlie and people out there working with some hard cases, showing some tough love. And I think it's because they have gold fever, because they see the possibility of someone and they see little glimpses of this gold. It's like the miners when they all, this gold rush to California, they had gold fever, and nothing could hold them back. And they'd be hours in there just chipping away for little tiny flecks of gold, because they knew the value of it. And they knew that no matter the work, it was so worth it to get that gold out of somebody. So we're not afraid. In this family, we're not afraid to pursue one another, to love each other hard. Part of pursuing relationships with people is not only getting them to open up their hearts to you, being a safe place for them to do that, but also us opening our hearts to them and being intimate and vulnerable and transparent. So for me, that looks like coming up here and taking out my heart and plopping it on the podium and saying, here, look, it is. This is my heart. Here's a little piece of me that I'm inviting you guys into intimacy with me, to know me better. And because of that, I want you to feel the same about me, that I can be someone that you can pull your heart out, figuratively speaking, not like real, but and show it to me. And we all do that in ways. Isaiah comes up here and he leads worship. That's him showing you his heart. And Carolina and Jacob coming up here, and you guys are awesome today. Just the flags and the dance, and that's being vulnerable, and that's inviting others that you can be vulnerable too. You can be transparent too, and we're not afraid. We're not afraid if you mess up or you stumble, or because we're a family, and a family, we pursue each other. Do you get hurt sometimes? Yeah, you do get hurt. That's part of it. But the more you risk being hurt, the more you also, the more you can cash in on the love and the joy and the going deep with someone, because that's really what we were created for, was relationship, for deep relationship. And so we can risk being vulnerable, knowing that the payoff is so much more than just walking around with walls and walking around of, I'm not going to go too deep with you because I might get hurt. You might get hurt, and you probably will, because people are imperfect, right? So, but can you trust God? Can you trust that he's put you in a family that even if you do get hurt, you'll get over it. You'll walk through it, and it's going to be okay. So yeah, the more we open our hearts, the more chance we have of being hurt or being misunderstood, but also the more chance of being healed and seen and understood for who we really are. Pursuing people also means having tough conversations, and it means forgiving, and it means apologizing, and it means saying, hey, I kind of got my feelers hurt, or it's saying, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelers. It's trusting again. It's forgiving. It's not taking offense. The world tries to give us this counterfeit of what strength is, and they say that strength is bucking up and being brave and putting up walls and not letting anybody in, because once you've been hurt again, you don't want to be hurt again, and so you got to be strong and you got to be this wall. I don't think that that's true strength. I think true strength is is, even though you've been hurt, is you keep putting your heart out there. You keep putting it out there. You keep trusting again. You keep being vulnerable again. That is strength. That's true strength. And that's strength that only the Lord can do in us. And so pursuing one another. All right, and number 3 is we are a safe place to grow. And families provide a safe place to grow. It's like this greenhouse effect of just a nurturing, safe environment to experiment and to try new things, to test out what God's doing in your heart. You know, it's a bit wobbly, you're a bit shaky, you don't know how this is going to look, but family is a safe place to experiment, try new things. Great men are not born great, they grow great. I think that's a great quote, and I got it off The Godfather, and I hope that's okay to quote The Godfather in church, but I'm like, that's good stuff, okay? And he's, great men not born great, grow great, right? That's my Italian accent, it sucks. So we encourage one another. We cover one another. We cover one another when we're trying new things out, and it's, oh, you make a mistake. Well, we don't all, oh, look at you. You tried to dance and you fell down, haha. You won't do that again, huh? We don't do that, you know? I mean, it's kind of funny, but we would never do that. And you can trust that this is a safe place to stretch out your wings and fly, and it might look a little awkward at first, right? You know, those birds they're growing and they're like, and they're all like, you know, half feathered and half naked, and they're trying to fly. And we just got baby chicks, and so they go through that stage of they're really cute at first and fluffy, and then they go through this like really awkward, like gross stage, and then they go to a good stage. But that was good, Talina. Because my next point was this glory to glory and strength to strength. Psalm 84:7. They go from strength to strength, and every one of them in Zion appears before God. I like that verse. They will go from power to power, and the gods of gods will be seen in Zion. That's 2 Corinthians 3:18. So those are really good ones, aren't they? And we all who with unveiled face, beholding, or I like one version says contemplating, as in a mirror, the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory. I love, that's a new song on the New Bethel CD or album, is the Glory to Glory. And I feel like, you know, when you're in a relationship with the Lord, you have no choice but to go from glory to glory. It's not stagnant. He's always moving. He's always pulling us up. He's always showing us new things. And there's that glory to glory in our life. And the awesome thing is we get to do it in a safe place. We get to do it in a family. The glory to glory and the strength to strength. There's that little word in the middle, the to part, glory and strength to strength, where it can look a little messy. It can look a little, you think about a butterfly going through a metamorphosis stage, and the baby chicks going from chick to chicken. There's that middle part that's not so pretty, the caterpillar and the gooey, yucky larva, but then he hatches into a big butterfly. And we think about childbirth, and we all say, childbirth, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it the most beautiful thing to behold? No, not really. It's slimy, and it's gooey, and there's screaming, and there's yelling involved, and there's frustration, and there's pain, and there's... we had a great idea. Giving birth is funny, and I won't go into it a whole lot, but I will touch on it a little bit. My first child, I did not want anybody at all in the room. It was me and Vince was lucky to get in there because I don't want anybody to see. Then the fourth child, I was inviting the neighbor over. My mother-in-law was there. I wanted Vince to tape it so I could put it on Facebook. You know, it's like, I just want the whole world. It's so magical. And Vince did record it. And so there's a part in there where Nate is being born. He was a home birth. He's being born, and it's a holy thing to witness. I watched the tape. I felt like I gave birth all over again, and I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but I did watch it one time. And It was a holy thing to behold. It was, and even in the goo, in the yuck, it was holy. And so there is this moment where Nate is coming out, and it's silent. The room is silent, and we let our kids be in on the birth. We thought that would be science for the year because we homeschool. And so, I know, right? Science for like the next 5 years, actually. So it's all quiet. It's beautiful. This beautiful moment of this baby being born that you've carried in your womb for 9 months. Absolute silence. Oh my gosh. And then you hear in the back of the video, yuck. Ugh. Because Noah felt like he had to put in his 2 cents. And he's not afraid to show what he's really feeling. That was really funny because I'm like, it's so true. It's that too. You know, it's beautiful, but it's also that. And that makes it beautiful. And so, it's just, I feel honored to be in a church that celebrates people being born and people going through new experiences and getting to walk through your muck and getting to walk through your birth slime. But and it's a safe place to do that. Number 4 is family builds together. Family builds together. I was inspired by this point because Isaiah wrote just an amazing blog about doing something new and building something new, and we can look out at other churches and other families and say, well, they do this. I think I want to go there. My kids are always saying, I want to go live at the Knowltons because, well, they have popcorn every night or something, you know, like they do that. I want to live with them. But I was like, well, we can do popcorn too, you know. You don't have to leave your family. You could stay here and you could build something, you know. Oh man, I wish there was a small group for women to, I don't know, on motherhood or something. I guess I should leave to go find a church that does it. Or you could stay and you could start one. We're in such like this amazing season at Zion where we're just so ripe for people who have ideas and who want to co-create as a family and want to build something together. Right? We're looking for people who are builders. We want builders here who are willing to build a family and not, you know, there are times when the Lord directs us out of a family and out of a church, but leaving just because you're not seeing what you want to see here, no, like make it happen, you know, make it happen here. Do what's in your heart. Again, we see the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit at the very beginning co-creating together. You know, let us together make man in our image. Let us together do these things. So I say that to Zion, let us do this together. Let us co-labor as a family and build something. And it's just amazing. It's humbling to me that God would want to co-labor with us mortals, us humans, you know, and to create something. And it's just so much better to build something in a family instead of all on your own, you know. There's safety there. There's covering there. There's protection there. It's just so much more satisfying when we build as a family. Many of you are aware that Vince has 1 more week left at his current job, and then we are starting off and building a business together. And one of his heart was to build something as a family, something that his sons could come into and help him, and he could be there more, and we could all do this together. And that was something that was on his heart. And so that's what we want to do as Zion, is build something together and leave a legacy. Leave something that we can pass on, and something where our kids can come and stand on our shoulders and go even further. And that's the beauty of family, is just these generation upon generations. And that is what Zion is. We're a generational. We have that generational vision of the next generation coming, standing on the shoulders and pulling down more and going farther and bigger and better. And the great thing about building in a family is that family understands that we're not in competition with one another. And I think that was key to what the Lord's plan was. He doesn't want his children competing with one another. He wants them together, growing, building something, appreciating and valuing and pursuing one another. And that's the great thing, that model of family, is that we don't have to compete with one another. What you bring, I need, and what I have, you need. And together, we just bring a whole picture, a piece, and make a picture of heaven together. So in family, we want each other to succeed. When they succeed, I succeed. When you succeed, I succeed. When I succeed, you succeed. And we celebrate that in one another. Like, yeah, go, And so that's that family model that we're building here at Zion. With that family model, there comes the importance of also, when we're building as a family, that we're honoring our family. We're honoring the timing of things. We're honoring our father and our mother. It says that in the Bible, honor your father and mother, that you may live long in the land. And so Chris and John, our father and our mother, and we honor them so much with just, we catch the vision of their heart and they catch the vision of our heart, and it comes together in this beautiful expression. And John and Chris have always been, whenever I've shared my heart and my dreams and my ideas, we got to do this, we got to do that, they're always so excited, but there's that wisdom there, and there's that covering of, well, how about let's wait, or let's do it, like, let's twist this a little bit. And it's not them coming down on me or, no, wrong. It's, well, we want this to be as best as it can be. And so that's what's awesome about family, is there's that covering, that protection to do things that'll last and that can be sustained. And that's the beauty of covering, and that's the beauty of doing things in unity. And there's just that awesome exchange of a give and take in relationship, of pursuing our heart desires, but being completely devoted to honoring that covering over us. You can do anything, but never go against the family. Another Godfather quote. I don't know if the Godfather, his family isn't the best model, but he does say some good things. I think he was prophesying what I really, yeah. You can do anything, but never go against the family. The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit were unified. Okay, so Jesus was here on earth, and he wasn't like, God, you're kind of holding me back. Holy Spirit, you're a drag. I'm going to just go off on my own and do what I really want to do. He didn't. He only did what he saw the Father doing. I do nothing on my own initiative, but I speak these things as the Father taught me. He submitted his will to the Father's will. And look what he did. That's pretty powerful. He saved the world. Family provides us safe boundaries when building, instruction, and safety. If we want to build something that lasts, we build it within a family. A single twig will break, but a bundle is strong. And Ecclesiastes 4:12 says, a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. I had this. Guess I didn't write that down. Do you remember in school on recess, I don't know, maybe they probably don't allow it now, it's probably illegal. But when I was a kid, it was called the Red Rover game. Do you remember Red Rover? Oh, it was intense, okay? You'd all stand in a line, for those of you that don't know, and you'd grab hands, and there'd be 2 teams across the football field or whatever, one on the other side, and you'd grab hands, and you'd all sing in unison, Red Rover, send Brad right over. And Brad would break free from his team, and he'd just come running with all of his might, and he'd try to break through the arms of the kids holding hands, And it was painful. Like, it was really, kids' arms were getting ripped out of the sockets, and, arms getting ripped off, yeah. And I always seemed like I got the big kid. Like, the big kid always went for the 2 little girls standing there, because he knew he could bust through. But I was tough. I was holding on. So there was wounds that came. But I was like, what a beautiful picture of just standing in solidarity, in unity, right? Holding hands. And when the enemy tries to come against us, no, we're unified. He can take a single person down. He can. But if that person is connected and tied into family, it's going to be a battle, because those people have your back. They have your sides. They have your front. And that's what's awesome about family, is that it provides that safety when the enemy starts throwing his darts. The other day, Saturday, we were out of coffee first thing in the morning. Let me just start the story with that. There was no coffee, and I thought I would make it. I was going to go grocery shop. I'm like, I don't need coffee. I can make it. I'll go to Costco and get our big thing. That was a bad decision because it turns out that I am actually addicted to coffee. And I just says to confess in front of your friends. And I am, and I have a problem. And so I didn't have my coffee, and Vince can attest for this. It was not pretty. And then everything after that, was just horrible and went downhill. And Vince was so sweet. He went into town and they went to Lowe's, and they came back with Dutch Brothers for me. But he got me iced coffee, and I don't like iced coffee first thing in the morning. And so he came in with this big, huge smile with his iced coffee. And I said, I like hot coffee. I was total brat. And it just, I don't know why I told you that story, first of all, but I seriously don't know what I was going to say after that. Anyways. Oh, yeah, okay. So it was a bad day. I was scrambling, like, why did I tell him that? Because it gets better, it does. So I chewed him out, and after that, he was just kind of avoiding me for the rest of the day and said, he told me you need to go in and go grocery shopping by yourself, leave the kids here, I know, right? And he was all happy. And when you're in a bad mood and the person that you're married to is in a good mood, and it makes you even more mad. And so then you're like trying to like pick a fight with them, but then they're like, they know what you're trying to do. And they're like, you need to just go. And then I think I did stomp my foot at one time, like, stop it, and just trying anything to get him riled up too, because then I could justify being in my sin and fleshing out, But he didn't. He just kept smiling. He was like, okay, we'll see you later, as I drove off. And, trying to peel out in a minivan, and it's just not cool, Like, oh, you're so cool. So then I drove, and I was at Costco, and then lo and behold, I'm shopping, and I'm grumpy, and, but I'm kind of calming down because there's some, I'm getting to think through some things, and the Holy Spirit's working on me, and Michelle texts me, how you doing? Just out of the blue, random, like, and so I kind of I sat down there in the patio furniture there at Costco and just took a load off, It was Julie's set, actually, that she recently bought for $300, but it's $700 at Costco, so she got a really good deal. So I decided to just sit there, and I was texting back and forth with Michelle, and, and I was telling her, all these horrible things, just a horrible day, and it's just snowballing, and all these things I'm thinking, I know they're ungodly beliefs, I know, but they feel so real at the moment, right? It just feels like everything's wrong and not going right, and she was so good to just say, I'm praying for you, I'm here for you, you're awesome, you're amazing, God's doing good things in your life. She was speaking the truth out to me. And I just that's the family of God. Because we all have those days, we all have those moments of, I can't do this. Like, everything sucks right now. And then we have to have people, we do have people who come and say, no, that's a lie. That's wrong. That's not true. Can you imagine if you didn't have that in your life? I mean, I wouldn't last very long. I'd be a mess, But we can rely. We don't have to be the strong one all the time. We can let other people be a strength to us. And that's what's awesome about family. And that's why it's so important to get into a community, because that community is what strengthens you. It's like that picture, that Red Rover, I'm not going to let go of you no matter how hard the enemy is pushing on you and throwing darts at you and trying to come against you. I'm not going to let go of you. And we need those people in our life, right? And we need to be that for other people too. So, all that to say, family is where it's at, guys. We value one another. We pursue one another. What was the third one? Just testing you. Safe place, good. And we build together. I firmly believe that we can experience more of God. We will experience more of God, more than we would as an individual, but as a family. We can get more of God as a family than we could on our own, because that's what He is. He is a family, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I just wanted to read a short, I think we're doing really good on time. Do we need a bathroom break? Everybody okay? Could I go to the bathroom? That would be weird. within our family, we have little mini families. And so my flag team is my little mini family in my Zion family. And I had just an awesome opportunity a couple months ago, and I was so just before I go into it, I was so impacted by what Jacob and Carolina and Paige did up here, just the three of them dancing together in unity. And what a beautiful picture of just coming together as a little family and doing the same thing together. Each one had a different colored veil, and just working together as a team. And that was something I got to experience for the first time a couple months ago. We were invited to an event called The Well, was it The Well? Okay. Or was it The Flood? The Flood, thanks. They both have water in them, so it was confusing. And I just encountered the Lord in such a powerful way, working as a team. And so I wrote this in my journal, and I wanted to share it with you guys, just being real and transparent. You get my journal writing, so I hope I don't scare you guys off. But so here we go. I was raised to be independent, and in a society that prizes independence and individuality, this is often seen as a really good thing. I'm also an only child, so working with others and doing things as a team has been a growing experience for me. I was the one in school who would much rather do an independent project than a group one. Being close to people can mean hurt and pain. It can mean confusion and chaos, misunderstanding and frustration. It might mean you have to give a little. It might mean you have to give a lot. And I wanted to save all I had for myself. I love to dance with flags. I love to move and get caught up in watching the colorful silks flutter, sway, and stream. I have discovered such freedom before the Lord by worshiping Him with flags and movement. I have found Him to be a safe place in this expression, and now I'm finding Him to be a safe place in other areas of my life. I'm realizing His goodness knows no boundaries. He has brought me into a spacious place, a place where I can stretch out and encounter His goodness in ways I've never imagined. And the more I stretch out, the more my life is touching others' lives. I'm starting to see that His goodness towards me is coming through them, and that even though they are imperfect people, I can trust Him. He uses my hurts to touch their hurts. He uses their healing to bring my healing. He's tying me to them and them to me, and the result is a beautiful, intricate display of His nature. He's making something perfect out of imperfection. A couple days ago, I got to dance. I got to dance with a team. We formed a line, and each one of us had our own colored silk veil. We all made the same movements at the same time. We all followed, and we all led. I followed the person on my left, and I led the person on my right. We worked as a team to bring unity in our expression. We trusted one another. Our goal was to look the same and move the same. When one of us got off, there was grace there to catch back up and get in formation. We knew there was power in our unity. We knew there was power in losing ourselves, in blending and becoming one with the other dancers. We were dependent on one another. And in that moment with those other dancers, I gave everything I got. I saved nothing for myself. I got lost and found in the middle of the dance, and it was a perfect feeling. I just wanted to share that with you you don't have to be afraid of losing yourself in family. In fact, you'll be found in family, and that you can take off like that, like what Chris was saying last Sunday. You can take off that life jacket and don't be afraid of sinking deep, of falling back into the arms of a family who will be there to catch you. And that you can trust God with what He's doing here at Zion and how deep He's taking you. Every family is different, and they all have unique things about them. Everybody in Vince and I, all our kids, and me and him, we all have blue eyes. In some families, they watch sports, they love sports, and they all have kind of their thing they do. One thing here at Zion is we wave flags. We love flags, and many of you have your own flags. You might not wave them here, but you wave them in the closet at home or something. Flags are a way of identifying. They were used in the Bible as ways of identifying which tribe you belong to and who your people were. And I thought, at the end of my message, I thought it would be just a great time to maybe respond to the Lord if you feel like Zion is your family, and this isn't even a call to make Zion your family, but it is a chance for you to come forth and let the Lord heal some wounds that you've experienced from maybe other church families or your blood family, but a response time. And so we are I thought it'd be great to have the leadership team come up, and maybe Brad and Tori too, you guys up here. And what's that? Would it be okay, James, just to put some music on in the background? That'd be okay? Like I said before, a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. So I just wanted to see this as a time for you to come forth and respond and say, yeah, I love that idea of family. I want to come under that banner. I want to come under that covering of family and unite with fellow believers and be able to go even farther and faster in the Lord. And so if we could have the leadership team come up and we could join, make a fire tunnel would be great. Ministry team, you can come up too. That would be awesome.